Welcome back, everyone, to GMID23. I'm Deborah Gardner, your host for Hospitality Today Live on this special edition Global Meetings Industry Day 2023. And we are having a celebratory day and a wonderful day with top leaders of our industry. And my co-host, Randy Clark, who actually is the official sponsor with Efficient Health Solutions again this year. And I have been here all day with you talking again about the amazing top industries in our industry. Now we're going to switch gears to talk with someone that you may not expect to be on the show, yet so important because it impacts each and every one of our lives while working and living in the hospitality profession. With over 30 years of experience in the insurance industry, the CEO for National Group Marketing is here, Doug Chapman. He is in the house with us today. And what Mr. Chapman is going to share with us is the insurance updates for the hospitality profession, along with what matters, how we need to know what kind of insurance fits for us. What is the right fit and with what particular company, and so much more. Again, this is a very important topic you do not want to miss because it affects each and every one of us and our families. So stick around. It's time to invest in you. Again on GMID, we are here with Doug Chapman, and I tell you what an impressive resume this man has. I mean, again, over 30 years of experience in the industry of insurance, the former national marketing director of National Business Association, he started the National Group Marketing headquartered actually in Dallas back in 1998, I believe, and represents over 1,500 agents and agencies nationwide. Well, welcome, Mr. Chapman.
Thank you for having me, Deborah.
I'm delighted to have you, especially since our good friend, Randy Clark, who we're going to meet with again a little bit later today, really, really highly recommended having you on the show. And I'm so glad because this is one area that is not covered well enough in the hospitality industry. But before we get to that, I understand you are a rodeo man.
That was many years ago, not anymore.
Well, same here. I mean, I used to hang out at the National Rodeo conference or event up in Vegas every year in December, and loved Gymkhana, loved rodeo my early days, whether it was the keyhole, the stakes, or the poles, or the barrels. I've always enjoyed the horse arena. So I was like so excited to have you on here today. But of course, from rodeo with all those broken bones and bruised hips and ribs that happen in the rodeo world, insurance is very important. So what we want to find out is what's really important for people to know in the hospitality industry about insurance today.
Well, in the hospitality industry, and thank you for having me, by the way, the businesses from small to large is what we deal in. And basically, I've been in business since 1989, actually. So with traditional major medical plans or a one size fit all, and whether designed and really not the best fit for a lot of people, especially small business owners, self-employed folks that aren't heavily subsidized. So we, many years ago, designed a program designed specifically for business owners, self-employed employees of all small and large. And we do private label association products, which will very much fit the hospitality industry. Randy is one of our top brokers and top associates. And so we're so fortunate to have him in our organization. But yeah, it's the product is outstanding. We have there's again, there's no one size that fits all. And I was in the major medical business for over 30 years, and watching this business model, which is the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, as we know, is a major medical business model. All the carriers are the same, and that's great if you have heavily subsidized plans or serious health issues or situations, pre-existing conditions. But if you're not in that arena, in that market where you're not getting those subsidized plans, you don't have serious health issues, we can save folks an awful lot of money. What we do is intelligently design health and income packages for businesses like the ones in the hospitality network industry. And what we found years ago in the major medical business, we watched those major medical premiums go up 20, 30% a year after year, every year. And at the same time, benefits were actually coming down. So you got huge deductibles, huge co-pays, co-insurance, large premiums. And then the way it's designed, you've got people like yourself, or maybe people that maybe are in their 40s or 50s that are paying for maternity, well baby care, immunizations, all types of benefits are in those policies that aren't relevant to certain people. So what we do is we analyze each individual family, each individual organization, and intelligently design a package of benefits for them. And as a result, we save an awful lot of money, generally 40 to 50% on the premiums. And it's a different business model. We have what's called a high-end defined benefit plan, and it is a package of benefits. We are problem solvers when we use what's called evidence-based selling. And the problem in the health insurance industry, one of the very few industries in the country, the only industry in the country that I know of where the consumer is ultimately responsible for the bill, really doesn't know what anything costs. We don't know what a surgery costs or an MRI or a lab until we get the bill. So, right. And by the time you pay your deductibles and co-insurance and huge premiums, you very rarely get a return on your investment. Another problem in the industry with employees and business owners is if you do get sick, people don't realize this. The number one reason for bankruptcies in America are medical bills and hospital closures. And what's really interesting is 78% of those folks actually had a major medical policy in force at the time. So that's another problem we have to solve, because if you get sick and you're not working, you can still lose your home, you still lose your car, you still go broke.
Right.
What we do is we design a package of benefits, and it's called a health and income protection package. You have 4 freestanding insurance policies paying in addition to each other. And so we cover the bases with your hospitalizations, surgeries, catastrophic events, accidents, and cancer and everything. So, and as a result, it is a qualified plan, our best product. So you're not in a block of business with a lot of people with serious issues. And obviously the ACA is excellent for that. And we use them if necessary.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you, what is the difference between working with you and other companies, and that, makes a lot of sense with those packages. Now, what would be the actual difference working with the insurance company as opposed to a broker?
Okay. Well, the broker, like Randy, we deal with all the A-rated carriers, so we can design, we have multiple carriers. But what we found with the business model we've been so successful with is our top product, Philadelphia American, and they only deal with certain brokers. And it's a very unique program, very uniquely designed. And what happens is we have our own national PPO network of hospitals and doctors, which are the same doctors and hospitals that the Blue Crosses and the Cignas and everybody uses. So it's the top doctors and hospitals in the country. The difference with our product is the consumer gets the discounts by staying in network. If you'll notice on the major medicals, you get penalized by going out of network. That's because the insurance companies are getting huge discounts. So what we did with our product is we got those same PPO networks that the consumer owns or consumer has access to, and the consumer gets the benefit. And the repricing when they go in network is anywhere from 40 to 60, sometimes 70%. And so then we have a high-end defined benefit plan that comes in and pays all the medical bills. And many times, as you know, there is excess indemnity left over. And when we put in certain high-end critical illness policies that will pay the client instead of the hospital, then when you'll have extra coverage. And we've had people with $20, $30, $40, $50,000 excess indemnity checks that have had serious health issues that they can use to pay their homes and to keep their medical, or not only pay their medical bills, that's paid, but that excess indemnity allows them to keep the bills paid while they're in recovery. So that income protection component in our package is another problem that we solve. The clients do not need to be paying tens of thousands of dollars a year in premiums, deductibles, coinsurance, and copays for healthcare. What they need is quality healthcare, the means to fund it. So we have a different business model that basically solves a lot of those problems and creates great value to the end user, the consumer.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear, because right now I would think it would be very difficult for a lot of people, individuals, families, even companies that are doing major layoffs to keep people insured. Is there a package around that when people are being laid off?
Yeah, that's another problem with your traditional group plans, which everybody has the same product. Again, back to the maternity, people that don't need it are paying for it. It's built in, because the group product, everybody has the same product. And it's not, you lose your coverage when you in a group plan and you get laid off or you get sick or whatever, you can lose your group coverage or just quit your job. With ours, it's all portable. It's an individualized list bill, it can be in a group setting, but you can take it with you if you leave, which is very important. So again, rate stability, income protection, and what we find is we generally save a family 40 to 50% on their premiums. When you take that our plan is first dollar benefits. So you don't have to deal with your deductible for outpatient surgeries, labs, x-rays, doctor. There's no deductible, no copays. So to understand our product philosophically and conceptually, if we can take a family's premium and cut it by 40 or 50%, and we can eliminate that family from those big deductibles and coinsurance and copays at the same time, then there's a huge value benefit there. So the combination of the premium savings and not having to deal with those big deductibles and coinsurance and copays and then stabilizing their rates and protecting their income, it's a much better value proposition to the consumer, to the client.
Now, Mr. Chapman, when it comes to insurance, do you have any idea, or maybe I don't, certainly, how many people in the U.S. are not covered in insurance?
I don't know. Currently, it's changing.
Probably changes every day.
It changes every day, yeah. But there's a lot because it's unaffordable. Like I said, unless you're getting heavily subsidized, it's unaffordable for a lot of folks.
Yeah. But it sounds like what you and your agents do is go much deeper, really customize, individualize as much as possible. I know on a personal experience, knowing Randy forever and having his under his Philadelphia America. I never even heard of Philadelphia America. And as a matter of fact, there's a lot of doctors that don't even know who Philadelphia America is. And I'm like, wait a minute, you need to know. Why do I know more than you do at this point? Because Randy educated me on it. And we went with that plan. And it was interesting. And I don't know if all plans do this or not. I can't remember what Randy told me. But I tell you what, when you're talking about show me the money, I mean, look at the checks I get back in the mail. This is just for 2023. I mean, I'm a fanatic about getting my health done. But look at the checks that Philadelphia has sent back to me. I mean, this is crazy. What insurance company pays you? I mean, that's insane. Look at that.
The insurance industry, it's fundamentally flawed, and there's so much overcharging, and when you have an educated consumer and a top-notch educated consultant, that aligns you with, and then you take and a lot of the doctors have not heard of Philadelphia American because they don't spend millions and millions of dollars a year on advertising that they have to raise your premium because they're spending $20 million a year in advertising like some of the other guys.
Right.
And when you talk about the duck or something, everybody knows who that is. Well, that costs millions of dollars, and that's put into your premiums, believe me.
Right.
So they do business different, and it's a different business model than the traditional carriers, the large carriers in the ACA. There's certainly a place for the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, but there's a whole other place for folks that are because you're paying for the high risk when you go in there. The health, and that's with some of the groups. The healthy people are paying for the sick people, and so there are better options out there that most people don't realize. But when you have a healthcare provider, a carrier, a doctor and hospital, a consumer, and a consultant that are all focused on not being a part of the problem, but being a solution to the problem, then you fix healthcare in this country. Stabilize rates, get premiums in line, protect the income, get the medical bills paid, and have quality plan for families.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Now, if you have been in the industry for so long and so well experienced, and with the vast knowledge that you have, if you had a magic wand, what would you change in the healthcare industry that would make a huge difference to the American people? What would you do?
Well,
if you were
I
in that
think what I would change is what we are changing. We're bringing awareness and educating consumers. So consumers have never been educated back to, they don't know what anything costs. That's insane. We don't go buy anything without knowing what it costs, but we go to the hospital and doctor all the time and have no idea what anything costs. Our clients know what they cost. They know what they should cost. An MRI is not $3,000 to $5,000. It's $400 to $500. So we understand, and I've been in the industry for many years, but I've also been a business owner. And so I understand both sides. I understand how hospitals work, doctors work, how the health carriers work, and how businesses work. And there's just a lot of fat on the steak. And when you can trim that down and design these plans intelligently for the consumers, then you can solve the problems. But the magic wand is just what we're doing, what Randy's doing. We're going across the country, and for every 100 families we sign up, we'll put probably at least $500,000 in their check accounts, approximately, in premium savings in 1 year. And so that's moving the needle, and it's all about education, having more intelligent consumers or more knowledgeable consumers. And with our PPO network, which is, when you say doctors haven't heard of Phil American, that's correct. But what they have heard of is First Health. They're a member of First Health, most of them. And that's the PPO network that we have in our program built in. But the difference is the consumer gets to use it. We can go anywhere we want with our plan without penalty. But like you do, if you go to a network doctor that is in network, then you get the reward and not the insurance company.
Right.
And that's what's creating those excess indemnity checks for you, because you're going to an in-network doctor. He's giving you the contract rate, repricing that bill, and you're getting an overpayment. They're electronically sending him his contract rate, and then they're sending you the difference, because they pay what they pay, the indemnity plans. Fantastic business model, fundamentally sound. But to start with educating consumers how to use it, like yourself.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's for sure. And when you're speaking of rewards, the other day I got just a simple letter from Philadelphia American in the mail. And sometimes when you get mail from insurance companies, you're like, I wonder what they want from me. But let me tell you, this was a letter of just appreciation. They were just thanking me for being a customer. I'm like, wow, that's different. I really thought I had something to pay or something, I need to do on my account or whatever it was. But no, it's simply just a simple letter, and it's actually signed by Philadelphia American Life Insurance Company. So I thought that was very, very impressive, and it is definitely a reward in my pocket going, you know what, I picked the right company. So, and of course the right broker of Randy. So that makes sense. Now, is there any, if people are skeptical about anything when it comes to insurance. Well, what is your first or second tip that you would give them to do, right off the bat?
The first thing you want to do, excuse me, is contact your insurance department in the state you're in, and they'll rate the insurance carriers the complaint wise, and you'll get a 5-star rating with Philadelphia American as far as doing what they're supposed to do. So do your research on your carriers. Make sure that the product lines up with your particular needs, and make sure, most importantly, I think, make sure you've got a great consultant like Randy, somebody who can advise you and educate you the best way to use your plan, because there's a big difference when you can go anywhere you want to go, which you can with our product, but the value comes into knowing how to stay in network so that you can get those bills repriced and get that excess indemnity. And, I've had this policy for 11 years myself, and had a lot of several surgeries and incidents, and I've always come out ahead. Never paid a deductible, never paid co-insurance. I've always put money in my account after I paid all my medical bills. So, and you don't have to do anything except just know what doctors and hospitals go to maximize your benefits. And obviously you'll be able to look that up on your email when you go to First Health. And in fact, everybody out there can go to First Health Network and look it up on your website, and your doctor more than likely will be in it, and the hospital you'll go to more than likely will be in it. All that means is they're on contract with you to reprice your medical bills, and which will allow your money to go a lot further. And then when you overlap the policies, I'll give you an example, like we have your health hospitalization policy that pays for accidents and surgeries, so forth. We also blend in there another accident policy. The reason we do that is accidents are about 68% of claims. So we want to create double indemnity. What's called double indemnity is actually you get paid when the doctor gets paid. You have two policies paying on one accident. And so we just tell our clients, give the doctor your card and we'll pay the doctor. But once you get your bill, if it's an accident, send that in to Philadelphia American and file that yourself. And they'll just take that bill, and up to the amount that they'll just send you a check. So the doctor got paid and you got paid.
Right.
And then your traditional insurance would never do anything like that.
Right.
And if you're hurt, like I was a while back, and you're not working, that money's going to come in handy. So that's where that health and income protection.
As long as you're not bull riding to this day, you should be okay. Stay away from hospitals. But if you're bull riding, Doug, there definitely is going to be some hospital bills. Who knows? But I'm just so grateful that you were able to share this information with us, because again, the hospitality industry is always in need of protecting themselves more now than ever, and I think we want to make sure that, the hospitality industry, as I always say, is not a small community. It's on a global basis.
Yeah.
So what would you do insurance-wise for international type of travel for somebody that goes from the U.S. to, other countries? Is there other coverage for that?
Yeah, some of our product, our accident policies worldwide, but the hospitalization is not. So obviously you're fine on an accident with our policy if you go worldwide. But I would recommend on international travel to get a short-term international policy.
Right.
And then when you come back, cancel that. And that's a unique product that I'd recommend when you travel.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, this has been a delight. And I know there's going to be viewers that are going to watch this and have more questions for you. If it's okay for them to contact you, we certainly want to put up your information here, your email address and the website that they can look you up at. Is there any other way that people can contact you, social media wise?
Well, NashGroupMarketing.com is the main way. And of course, Randy is one of our top brokers as well.
Contact Randy.
If you have an association or a large, small or large, we can design a private label product for your organization many times, which I know Randy's done with several of your businesses in your industry. And so, Doug Chapman, NashGroupMarketing.com, or reach out to Randy as well. Either way.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Boy, this has been a pleasure to meet you. And I tell you what, it's again, a very important topic that individuals and families need to discuss, and to also talk to some specialists like you and Randy at the same time. So hopefully people will reach out to either one of you real soon. So thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate your opportunity, and thank you for wearing blue on GMID Day for us here in the hospitality profession.
Thank you for having me, Deborah.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Doug Chapman, the CEO of the national marketing group that really does a great job on the insurance status, especially here in the hospitality industry. We want to make sure that you have that resource and that knowledge and information, because today it's all about being safe. It's all about being healthy and alive. So definitely reach out to Doug Chapman. And of course, we want to bring in our analyst and recapper, Randy Clark, at the same time. So glad you're back here. What'd you think, Randy?
Great information from Doug. That man is so busy running the organization that he has. We're truly grateful to have him participate and share his knowledge. He was tasked with taking me under his wing several years ago when I decided to step away from the hospitality industry. I'm still involved, but
Yes.
when I said, the insurance, I want to help hospitality professionals and provide them with affordable and effective health insurance, Doug was the guy who was there to guide me, and he still does.
Well, and that's good to hear, because the hospitality industry is a unique niche. I mean, the hospitality industry is larger than the automobile industry, the pharmaceutical, retail. The only industry larger than the hospitality industry is the government. So you have a lot of ground to cover
I do.
in the hospitality industry. So it's a perfect niche for you with that background, and your knowledge of, again, the insurance industry has been phenomenal. And most people in the hospitality industry are salespeople, and like me. And so sometimes we can be a hard sell, but you reeled me in. Real easily. And it's been a great ride ever since. So my family and myself really enjoy educating doctors at the same time. But
Yeah.
But what else did you learn, from Doug, when that you believe that needs to be resurfaced again?
It's really funny because you showed the checks. I went and grabbed some checks too, just from last month, actually.
I know. I mean, what industry does that? I mean, this is just this year alone, because I'm just a fanatic with staying healthy. And it's just phenomenal. And the best part, talking to you, is eventually, Medicare is going to come into my life.
Mhm.
And you even have policies behind that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do. And
So,
it's funny, Deborah, showing these checks like this, I represent all the top carriers and I have access to them, and they're with different carriers. They have term limits. So they have a 6-month limit and then a 1-year term, and you have to re-sign to get that. So you have to pay a new application fee, and they relook at the claims that you stake. Now, I guarantee you, if I signed you up with one of the other carriers that's a big name brand, you would be declined if you showed all of those checks. So
wow.
that's the wonderful thing about Philadelphia American is you can keep, once you're signed up, you can keep this insurance until you turn 65, and they cannot decline you for using the insurance like you do. And we recommend that you do that, right? Be healthy. And this insurance allows you to become, to take care of yourself and have confidence with no outpatient deductibles, right?
Yeah,
So you have no deductibles that you have to meet. And all that deductible does, it allows you to put money into the system, paying for those people that are not quite as healthy as you are. So they can fund that. And that's what happens with the deductibles. And this offers no deductibles. So
well, I like what Doug said about the flexibility, because there are people that, have, the families that need extra things to stay healthy. And we've got conditions to deal with. We've got, pregnancies to deal with, and major health issues to deal with. And just to know that you also have the options, traveling abroad is important, because we are more on a global basis. And I think there's going to be a lot more of that once the visas get, which happen to be a hot topic here today, visas come through for more, not only international inbound, but outbound as well.
Yeah, it's and Doug touched on it a little bit, but what this insurance does, it's indemnity insurance, and all indemnity means is to make you whole. So if you're on a defined benefit indemnity plan, you know how much you're going to get for that doctor's visit. So for example, if you go to a doctor and you need to have an MRI, and the doctor says, hey, I'm going to go over to my friend over here that charges $1,100 for an MRI. This allows you to become an educated consumer and say, hey, doc, I know that MRI doesn't cost $1,100. My plan pays $700 for that. Can you send me somewhere else? And he'll say, oh yeah, go here. And that's how much it costs, and the insurance covers it. What the $1,100 is, it's an opportunity for a referral fee. And doctors sometimes get those things when they refer you to other doctors, and that's where the prices get escalated and get higher. So again, most people, they will shop for a vacuum cleaner. They'll look for the best prices for a TV. They'll look for the best prices for all kinds of things, but they never look for the best price for services for the doctor's visits. And this type of insurance allows you to become an educated consumer and say, hey, doc, I only have this much. Where can I go to get that? And they'll say, oh, you're an educated consumer. Go here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's time for everybody to invest in themselves. That's part of it. And Jim Rohn would always say that. I always enjoyed his philosophy of, put yourself first. And I believe insurance is under that category. And to invest in yourself, then you will become less stressed because you have it. You'll be more, like you said, informed. You'll be able to be on top of things that we need to be prepared for. And that has to do with our health.
A perfect example. I had a holiday party for my customers come to the house. I brought in a mobile chiropractor who takes the insurance, because I don't know if you know this, but your plan pays for 6 chiropractic visits per year. Oh. So I encourage to go look. I'll send you that information. And I encourage you, because that's what you're paying for. That's what your premium payment pays for. Is part of it for you to get 6 chiropractic visits per year. So yeah, I brought him, and I told my clients that were here, I said, make an appointment with this guy because the insurance is going to pay.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm learning something new all the time with you, Randy. I love it. Definitely. Well, thank you so much for recapping our conversation today and introducing Doug Chapman to us, because again, this is probably one of the most important conversations today here on GMID Day. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. You heard it right from Randy Clark and Doug Chapman, how important the industry is to know more about the health insurance for not only yourself, but for your family as well. So thank you so much for joining us. And hey, stay tuned. We're not done here on GMID 23. We've got another special guest coming up, and we can't wait till you meet her. So stay with us. We'll be right back.